This is Cephas Kafui, and today I will be answering questions on purpose. Any questions you have concerning your purpose, tonight I will be answering those questions. I know it's going to be a very, very difficult task, but I'm going to go with it today. So before I start, I just want you to share this with someone and let someone join us. What I'll do today is that I will explain how to find your purpose, just the formula that I gave to you from the previous time, so that you can follow up with me just in case you are lost. So just share it to someone, let someone join us. Just share this right now, share this right now. Let somebody be part of us, and let's start this very, very quickly. I am very, very eager to begin. So I hope that you are also excited. You're also excited to join me today. I'm very, very excited. So just share it. Share this with someone. Share this with someone. We'll be starting in the next 3 minutes. We'll be starting in the next 3 minutes. We'll be starting very, very soon. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Hello, Jeffrey. Thank you for coming around. Hello, Veronica. Thank you for coming around. 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 Just share it and let someone join us. Share it. Let someone join us. We will start in a few minutes. We will start in a few minutes. Just share it. Let someone be part of this. I'll be talking to you about purpose. I'll be answering questions on purpose. If you still haven't found out what your calling is, what your purpose is in life, I'll be able to guide you today. I'll be able to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, just post them on the Facebook live chat. Someone will write it down over here and they will hand the questions over to me. If you are watching on YouTube live, you can write in your questions as well. Someone will write it and I'll have the questions to answer likewise. So just share this. Let someone join us. Let someone be part of this. Let someone be part of this. Let someone be part of this. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for joining us today. Last time when I spoke about purpose, I gave you some keys by which you can determine what your purpose is. Some keys by which you can determine what your purpose is. In a few minutes, I'll run through those keys. I'll run through those step-by-step instructions as to how to find your purpose in life. I'm just waiting a few minutes and then we shall begin. Just share it. Let somebody be part of us. Let somebody come and join us. Purpose is crucial. Purpose is the reason why you are here on earth. It is the reason why you are born. Purpose is the reason why you were created. You are here on an assignment. Your birth is never an accident. Your location was never an accident. Your mother, your father was never an accident. Everything was done on the planning of purpose. And everything is an indicative of what you are born to be. And today I'm going to help you to understand these things through many of the questions that some of you will ask. Through many of the questions that some of you will ask. I'm just waiting for a few more minutes to allow other people to join us. And then we shall begin now. In the next 60 seconds, we shall start. In the next 60 seconds, we will start. Basically, I'll give you the step-by-step instructions as to how to locate your purpose. I divided it into 2 stages. This is something I had discussed with you on Thursday. I divided it into 2 stages so that you can understand what your purpose is in life. So that you can understand what your purpose is in life. So let me start with you quickly, even as other people will join us as time goes on. I just want you, if you have not been with us for the past days, or you have not listened to the sessions on purpose that I did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that is fine. But I will ask that you go back and you listen to it just in case you are confused along the way. So let me give you the step-by-step keys. I broke it down into 2 parts. In the first stage, I said Questions 1 to 8. Answer these questions. Just be sincere with yourself. So the question number 1 is, when you were in pre-K to grade 3, what did you want to be? Number 2, what was it you wanted to be when you were in grade 4 to 6th grade? Number 3, what did you want to be when you were in junior high? Number 4, what did you want to be when you were in high school? Number 5, are you in college? If so, what is your major? What do you plan to be? If you are not in college, then you can also answer the question, if you are to go to college, what would you major in? What would you like to do with your life if you are to go to college? Number 6, what are you currently doing with your life? What are you doing right now? Are you working? What are you doing right now with your life as of now? Number 7, have you discerned what your calling in life is? What is God calling you to do? Number 8, how did you know it is your calling? So those were the first stages of the question. The second stage of the question, I asked different questions. The reason why this happened was because I want some of you to understand that I suspected that you will get different answers from the first session comparable to the second session. There is a reason for that. And the reason being that whatever answer you get, which is the common denominator in the first session, it will be indicative of what will happen to you in the second session as far as your purpose is concerned. In the second session, it was meant to reveal your purpose, but attached to your purpose is also something else that helps you to define your purpose, that helps you to prosper with your purpose. So purpose does not stand by itself. There are tools that are given to us to fulfill our purpose in life. So those tools are things that I will explain later over the course of time. But I would like to start right now. I will start by taking any questions for the sake of time because tomorrow is Sunday. So I will start by taking any questions at all. If you have any questions concerning your purpose, you are confused about your purpose, you don't know what your purpose is, you can ask the questions. You can just post it on the Facebook chat, or you can post it on the YouTube live chat. Wherever you are listening to it, just post the question. Someone will be in that room. They will record it or they will write it down. They will give me the question and I'll respond to you. So if you are ready, you can go on, please. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer a question from Evelyn. And the question is gifts or talents related to a person's purpose? Is gifts or talent related to a person's purpose? Now, I have said this before on a previous teaching. Your gift or your talent is not your purpose. Your gift or your talent is not your purpose. However, your gift and your talent complements your purpose. It's a tool that is given to you for you to accomplish your purpose. Now, what that also indicates is that if you know what your gift and your talent is, it is also something that gives you a hint of what your purpose is. Your gift and your talent enhances your purpose. It is not your purpose. In other words, if you are good in drawing, it does not mean that your purpose is drawing. If you are good in singing, it does not mean that your purpose is singing. But however, you have been given a tool, just like a farmer has a tool that makes his job easier, that actually enhances his job. So your gift and your talents are different from your purpose, but however, they are indicative of your purpose. They give you a hint of your purpose. So what I would say is that when we talk about your gift and your talent, your gift and your talents are really something that provokes your purpose, something that enhances your purpose. So I will stop by over there and then I will answer any follow-up questions from that. This question is from Jesse. Where is this from? YouTube or Facebook? YouTube. So this question is from Jesse on YouTube. What if you don't know how to begin your purpose? What if you don't know how to begin your purpose? Now, I want you to, Jesse, if you are listening, basically, I suppose that you're on YouTube. Now, does your question mean that you have already found your purpose and you don't know how to begin it? If that is what you are asking, then say yes and I'll respond to the question. So if you are watching now, there's another question from Sophia, Sabah Sophia. How do I fulfill my calling with a husband who has stopped me from going to church? So Sophia said that she believes that her purpose is to be an evangelist in a certain category. But however, she's married to a man that will not even allow her to go to church. So she's asking, how can she fulfill her calling if that is the case? Well, the truth of the matter is, Sophia, God is not the author of confusion. If God has called you to be an evangelist, then definitely God is going to make it in a way that your husband will understand your calling. I remember when I was called into ministry, it was a challenge. The reason is because everyone around me questioned that. Everyone around me did not believe me. People thought I was crazy. People thought I was insane. In fact, I had friends who betted on me that they give me just 6 months and I'll quit from ministry. A lot of family members doubted. They thought I was mad. They thought I was losing my mind and all kinds of things. But the honest truth is that if God is the one who has called you, your loved ones will eventually, the people that are very close, especially someone like your husband, will begin to understand that the calling is upon you. In other words, your calling has to be proven. The reason why your husband has not come in terms with you is because your calling is not yet proven. In other words, you have to go to the face of God and you have to begin to exercise your calling in a small way at home. You have to begin to be an evangelist at home. You have to begin to save your husband, pray for your husband. The first soul that God has given to you in your house, before you can even go outside, is your husband. So your job, Sophia, is to work on your husband. Spend time and day, because in fact, if you cannot save your husband at home, how can you be an evangelist outside? So this is a test that has been given unto you. Pass that test and you can move on to the next stage. God bless you. So, hello Lydia, welcome. God bless you. Now, if you have any questions, just post it. Post it on YouTube Live or post it on the Facebook chat. Someone will give that question to me. Did Jesse finish his question up? Check your phone, please. All right, this question is from Chevelle on YouTube. Is it possible to have two purposes in life? For example, a singer and a business owner. No, Chevelle, it is not possible to have two purposes in life. As I said before, one of it is meant to complement the other or enhance the other. I'm going to explain it in this way to you. That is why the steps that I gave to you in discovering your purpose, I broke it into two. The first one will tell you something that you will do in your walk of life. In other words, the first session will tell you what kind of a job you will do in your secular life. The second session will tell you what your purpose is. You see, if you are a business owner, let's just say that is not your purpose, but you're a business owner. And let's just say that you have a gift of ministry in singing. Basically, you have a singing ministry. And through that singing ministry, God does a lot of things. Now, the problem of the matter is that you will not be able to initially finance that singing ministry. But however, God has given you other skill. And you have used that skill to start a business. If you have used that skill to start a business, that becomes a revenue for your purpose. In other words, now that can be used to propagate and push your purpose into manifestation. Because every purpose requires a sponsorship. Every purpose requires an investor. Every purpose requires a patron, a matron. Sometimes in the initial state of your purpose in life, someone will not come from outside to help you. You will have to use the skill set that has been given unto you. That's why I spoke about talents. That's why I spoke about giftings. Those giftings are things that you can convert and use them as tools to promote and to enhance that purpose that has been given to you. And so there is a difference between your purpose and your gift. And also you cannot have two purposes in life. You have been called upon this earth and you have been assigned for one thing. You are born to do one thing. As soon as that thing is done, there is no reason for you to be alive again. You are here to fulfill a purpose. When Jesus was on the cross, he said, "It is finished." It was for this reason that the Son of Man came upon the earth, that he may die, that he may be crucified, that he may resurrect again. Your purpose is only one. Paul, when he was dying, wrote a letter to Timothy and said unto Timothy that, Timothy, I have run the race, I have fought a good fight, I have come to the end. So you have to realize that even after all that he has done, there is one thing that he has been assigned to do upon the face of the earth. When that hour came, he recognized that hour that his purpose has been fulfilled. Anyone who is called to a purpose, when your purpose comes to a fulfillment, you will know that you have fulfilled the purpose. The reason is because purpose gives you fulfillment. Can your ministry be... Let me pick another question while I'm waiting for those who are writing down the question. Hi, Pastor. So I have a question. Let's say you found a sense of what your purpose should be. But now, William, I will answer your questions shortly. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's say you found a sense of what your purpose should be. But now, you and others have seen another calling on your life that is not actually what you want to do in the future at all. Is there a way that you could fulfill two callings in one lifetime? Is there even such a thing like that? This seems like the question that somebody was asking, whether you can have two callings or two purposes or not. No, you cannot. Now, let me say this unto you. I think I gave an example before that I had a young girl came unto me, and the young girl is in my church. Someone prophesied to the young girl. Someone said unto the young girl, I see that you are dressed like a nurse or someone in the medical field. You are dressed like a doctor and all kinds of things. But what the young girl was doing in school has nothing to do with the health field. It has nothing to do with the medical field. The reason why I gave you those 4 stages for you to understand what your purpose is that you have to understand that the Bible said that we prophesy in part and we see in part. Seeing is not enough. Prophecy is not enough to confirm what your purpose is. As I said unto you before, for example, one prophet came, told this girl one thing about what she's going to be in the future. Another prophet came, told this girl about what she's coming to be in the future. Now, this girl must continue on the path that she's going. She should not stop what she's doing currently and do what the prophet asks. She should continue to do it. The reason is because prophecy is not a direction. Prophecy is a confirmation. And so the young girl must continue to do what she is doing until there is a confirmation as far as what her purpose is. So now you are sensing something. Someone is seeing something. What is being heard? Now you have to come to the realization of also asking yourself that, have you handled these things? Have you done it before? Have you experienced it before? How did you feel? And so forth and so on. Because something that is already in you, see, purpose is already in you. The moment you touch it, you will feel a connection. The moment you touch purpose, you will feel it. You will feel it. Some of us who are called into ministry, there is nothing that satisfies us and fulfills us more than to sit up, stand up, and preach. The moment you do it, something inside of you becomes real. Something inside of you feels good. And so when you are fulfilling purpose, you will know that you are fulfilling purpose. Purpose is not boring. It is what you are meant to do. So that is what I will say. If you have a follow-up question, I will answer it. Now, William, can your ministry be the same as your job? Can your ministry be the same as your job? Now, that is very interesting. Now, one thing I would say is this. Ministry is a job. Ministry is a job. Ministry is a full-time work. Now, I have heard a couple of people quote a couple of scriptures concerning Paul's ministry, where Paul spoke about the fact that he was a tent maker and so forth and so on. And he used the business of tent making to finance his purpose in life. This is what I was talking about. So basically, when Paul began his ministry, he was a tent maker. He used the ministry of tent making to sponsor his ministry. The reason was because of the fact that he didn't want the church members to insult him concerning financial matters or to discredit him because of financial matters. So because of that, he began initially by sponsoring his own ministry by using his skill set, which was tent making that he grew up doing, and so forth and so on. But so I've heard a lot of people quoting scriptures saying that, oh, you can do a part-time ministry. Look, there is nothing like a part-time ministry. When you are called to the work of God, you are called to a full-time work. You are not just called to a full-time work, you are called to a lifetime work. Now, what Paul did was because of a necessity. It was not a plan of God. That is why in the book of Corinthians, Paul wrote a letter to the Corinthians and he was very, very upset. He wrote them and he said unto them, am I not an apostle? Have the work of the apostleship not been done in me unto you? And Paul said unto them that, am I not like Cephas, which is Peter? Now, Paul now began to compare himself to the other apostles and all kinds of things. The reason was because the other apostles like Peter, John, and the rest, they were being paid. But Paul and Barnabas were not being paid by the church. And so now Paul writes to the Corinthian church and he was very, very aggravated. He was very, very upset. He was very emotionally driven. And he said, listen, I have worked among you. I have done everything as an apostle around you. But I've come to recognize that because I am financing my own ministry, you guys are beginning to think that this is how it is supposed to be. Then he quoted a scripture and he said, what the ox plows is what the ox eats. And Paul said unto them that, is it wrong that those of us who are working in the church, we should eat from the church? Of course, Paul answered and said, it is not wrong. That is what the Bible does teach. And he quoted the Old Testament to explain that unto the Corinthian church. So I must say unto you this thing again. There is nothing like a part-time ministry. What you are called to do is a lifetime work. The ministry that we are called to do is a 24-hour service. It does not end any day, any time. If someone calls me right now and I have to move, I have to move. And so forth and so on. Let me pick up a different question. This is from YouTube. Was it CNR Christian? Okay. CNR, God bless you for coming around. So, your purpose is not the same as a talent, but your talent can help you fulfill your purpose in life. That is very right, CNR. So, your purpose is not the same as your talent. Your talent is a tool. You must only regard your talent as a tool. In other words, when we talk about tools are things that you pick out of the box, the toolbox, in order for you to do a job. Now, your talent is given to you in order to make your purpose easy. It also gives you a hint of what your purpose shall be. The reason is because your purpose is not that far away. Because in fact, you can identify a profession by its tool set. You can identify someone's profession by the tools that they use. You can identify a doctor's profession by the tools he uses. You can identify an engineer's profession by the tools he uses. You can identify a farmer's profession by the tools that he uses. And so those tools can identify or give a hint as to what your purpose will be in life. But your talent is not your purpose. Your talent is meant to enhance your purpose. And I will say this to you. Now, over the period of the years, I told you that I was doing very, very well in art. I was very, very good in technical things. I was extremely good in technical stuff. So because of that, I thought that my purpose has to do with engineering. In fact, I didn't even care about purpose. I just wanted to be an architect. So basically, my whole life and things I did were very, very technical. I can break anything and put it back together. I was very, very good at fixing things. I was very, very good at programming things, doing things, and all kinds of things. But those were skill sets that God gave unto me so that I'll be able to manifest my purpose. When I started ministry around 2003, at that time, websites were not popular. At that time, there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube, there was no Google, there was none of those things. If you have to learn web design, and you really, really have to read books, you have to go into the scratches and learn those things. You have to break into codings and learn those things. Now, I started teaching myself web design. I started teaching myself graphics when I was in 10th grade in high school. I just woke up one day and began to teach myself these things. What I did not know was that the skills that I was cultivating, I was going to need those skills when I began my ministry. Now, when I started ministry in 2003, around 2004 and 2005, I began to use those skills. And in fact, I came on iTunes very, very early when a lot of people were not yet on iTunes. My sermons were on iTunes. My sermons were all over the internet at a very, very early stage. when in fact a lot of people were not on there. You only have to find like ministries that were very, very successful, ministries that were in like around 20,000 congregation, 10,000 congregation. I mean, who were able to find their way to do things that I was doing at that time. The reason was because at that time, I used my skills to build my own website. I used my skills to do my own things in order for me to get into places that I need to get. And so what I'm trying to make you understand is that God has given you skills. He has given you talents. You are to use those skills and those talents to fulfill your purpose in life. That is what it is. Some of you can cash in on those skills. In other words, you can make money out of those skills and those talents in order to finance your purpose in life. Facebook. Can one say, this is Lydia, can one say you are fortunate to find your purpose in life before you die, since others die without fulfilling their purpose? Yes, if you are able to find your purpose in life before you die, it is a good thing. In fact, it is the greatest thing. The reason why I say this to you is because of the fact that you shall only be judged for what you were sent here to do. And I will repeat this again. For Christians, there are two judgments for Christians. I'm not talking about the judgment of unbelievers. The judgment of unbelievers is one judgment. But there are two judgments for Christians. Now, in that judgment for Christians, the first judgment has to do with the white throne judgment, where your name is found in the book of life. If your name is not found in the book of life, you are thrown into the lake of fire. But as a Christian, when your name is found into the book of life, it means that you are going to heaven. The second judgment is a judgment of rewards. It's a judgment of crowns. It's a judgment where he will say, "Thou good and faithful servant." That judgment has to do with your purpose. It has to do with what you were called to fulfill on earth. And you will not be judged for the good that you did. You will be judged for what you were asked to do. You will not be judged for the good things. You will be judged for the right things. In other words, your purpose has to do with what is right. Your purpose has nothing to do with what is good. In other words, you can do a lot of good things on earth, and you will die, and you will go to heaven as a Christian, but you will receive no rewards. The reason is because of the very fact that the assignment for which you were sent, you did not fulfill it. Your boss at work will not reward you for something he did not ask you to do. You can go to work and clean the entire floor of the job places. Your boss does not care because that is not your assignment at that job place. You must fulfill your assignment at that job place to receive your paycheck. You are only rewarded by what you were asked to do, not the good that you do. And you have to understand that God will only reward you by what he asks you to do. And what he asks you to do is your purpose. So it is necessary that everyone discover what their purpose is before they die. Everyone must discover it. William, I will come back to your explanation again. But William, if there is something you don't understand very well, I would like you to follow up with a question. Maybe I did not get your question very, very well. Follow up with a question and I'll answer you clearly. Thank you. William, follow up with a question and I will respond to that. Which one? Okay, so now, Jesse, you asked the question, what if you don't know how to begin your purpose? Now, let me explain this to you. The day you discover your purpose, it means that you have had a vision of your destination. And let me say this once again to you. The day you discover your purpose, it means that you have had a vision of your destination. That word purpose simply means destiny. And destiny comes from the word destination. Destination simply means the finish line. That is what it means. Destination means the end. That is where we get the word destiny from. That is where we get the word purpose from. Now, so what we are saying is that the day you discover your purpose in life, you have seen your end. So what we are simply saying by purpose is that this is where you end before you die. This is what you have to do before you die. That is the finish line of your life. Now, vision is the ability to see the end from the beginning. Vision is the ability to see the end from the beginning. In other words, vision is a disclosure of purpose. Vision is the ability to see your purpose. Now, what that means is that the day that you discover your purpose, you have also had a vision. Now, it was just like Martin Luther King Jr., who woke up and he said that I have been to the mountaintop, I have seen the future. Now, that future that he saw is also a declaration of what his purpose is. His purpose is to get us to that future, even if he does not make it to that future. His purpose is to get his people to that future. And that is what it is for him. Now, one of the things you have to understand is that the moment you have a vision of where you are going, which is your purpose, the moment you have a vision of where you are going, you must now begin to prepare. So from the day you discover your vision, okay, and so from the day, no, wait a second, from the day you discover your vision in life, or from the day you discover what your purpose is, you go through the stage of preparation. Apostle Paul made a statement. He said the day that he discovered his calling or his purpose, he said he went to Asia Minor and he stayed there for 3 years. What was he doing there for 3 years? He was preparing himself for his calling. He was preparing himself for his purpose in life. In other words, when you discover your purpose, you have had a vision of where you are going. You have seen the end. The reason why you are given a vision of the end is to prepare you for the end. So now what do? You go back and you begin to prepare yourself. Now, if what you must do is to read books, if what you must do is to watch videos, educate yourself, learn, find a mentor, find a life coach, find someone who will guide you. If what you must do is to go to school for you to prepare for your purpose, then you go to school, then you do those things. But whatever the case is, you must prepare yourself. The moment you discover that this is where you are going in life, you must enter the stage of preparation. That is why the first time I spoke to you about the anointed time and the appointed time. The anointed time is when you discover your purpose. The appointed time is when your purpose is activated. The period between the anointed time and the appointed time is the endurance time. It is the stage of preparation, which means that you must now begin to prepare yourself for where you are going in life. Can one die after fulfilling their purpose? The reason why you are alive is because of your purpose. The day you discover your purpose, you have no reason to be alive. You may stay alive, but you have no reason to be alive. Methuselah lived for 965 years or 67 years old. The reason was because those 967 years were a measure of God's judgment upon the earth. And so as soon as that period ended, so Methuselah was used as a measuring rod, that the day that Methuselah died, God will send judgment. That is why he had to live that long, because the mercy of God prevailed until that long. And so the reason why he lived that long was because of his purpose. He was serving a purpose for his generation. So the day he was born, a prophecy spoke concerning his destiny, that a judgment will come, concerning the day he dies. And so that is what his name even means. So what you have to understand is that the reason why you are alive is because of your purpose. You have no reason to be alive when your purpose is fulfilled. There are many people who have lived to be only in their 30s and they died, but they fulfilled their purpose and they had no reason to be alive. So it was okay that they died. Jesus died at 33. He fulfilled purpose. Yes, Lydia, it's not everyone who can find their purpose in life. And many people will die without finding their purpose in life. That is the sad part of it. Judas died. And when Judas died, Peter, the senior disciple, called a cabinet meeting with the 11 disciples that were left. And he said that the bishopric of Judas is vacant, and we must appoint someone to fill that vacancy, that vacuum that he has left behind. The reason was because Judas's purpose was to fulfill the role of an elder, a bishop, the office of a bishop. But the Bible said he died before that could be fulfilled. And because of that, Peter had to call a meeting for them to pray and to cast a ballot, for them to elect someone to step into his vacancy. And so, yes, a lot of people will die without fulfilling their purpose. And that is a tragedy, to die without fulfilling purpose. Because the reason why you were born in the first place is because of your purpose. And to die without fulfilling it is a tragedy. Let me go back and answer, William, your question. Can your ministry be the same as your job? Now, if I understand what you mean by ministry and job, then I can explain very details into you. The reason why I say this is because if you mean ministry by pastoral work, then yes, that likewise is also your job. In other words, you eat from it. A job is what you eat from. In other words, you eat from that purpose, from that ministry, you eat from it. The same way also, someone is called to be a doctor. That by itself is a ministry that has been handed to him by God. A ministry has nothing to do with the pastoral. A ministry has to do with a calling. It simply means to minister. God calls us in different fields of life to minister unto people. So someone who is a doctor, who has been called by God specifically to be a doctor, that is their ministry that God has given to them. And through that ministry, they will be able to affect souls. Through that ministry of being a doctor, other people will come into them and they'll be able to change lives. For example, the ministry that was given to Joseph. Joseph's call in life was to be a prime minister in a foreign land called Egypt. Now, that was his ministry, to be a prime minister. And through that ministry as a prime minister of Egypt, God saved Israel and God saved Egypt. The same thing happened to Daniel. Daniel's ministry was not a pastor. Daniel's ministry was to be a governor in Babylon. Was to be a governor, a prime minister in Babylon. And through that, God used him to save the king of that place. And God used him to save his people. And so forth and so on. And so, yes, maybe if you can explain your technical definition of ministry, I can go further with you. Does your life coach have to be in the same line of purpose and or religion? No, Jeffrey. Your life coach, that is why we say life coach. A life coach is a life coach. In other words, a life coach is someone who is responsible for the guiding of your life. And what that means is that your life coach may not, let's just say, for example, I am a lawyer, and that is what I'm called to do. Now, my life coach does not have to be a lawyer. My life coach must be someone that understands the principles of life. Someone that has been exposed to the experience of life. Someone that can guide me ethically, morally, and lead me for me to get to my destination in life. My life coach can also point me to other people, a mentor within in other words, if I'm working as a lawyer, my life coach could counsel me and say that, I think you need to find someone in the law field to mentor you and to take you through this direction in life and so forth and so on. And so, your life coach, can do a facet of things. So your life coach does not have to be specifically in the field that you are in. The reason is because he is a life coach. He is not a career coach. He is a life coach. Well, it is a she or a he, those of you who are feminists. This is from Cessna, Facebook. So a person's ministry can be their purpose. Yes, a person's ministry can be you see, as I explained to you, if I understand what you people mean by ministry, then I can explain further to you, because ministry simply means a call to minister or a call to service. That is what ministry is. So ministry technically has nothing more to do. Ministry is not geared specifically to just the pastorate, because I know most of us are Christians, churchy people, and things like that. So when we hear the word ministry, we are thinking that we are talking about church. We are talking about the office of the church. But no, that is not the case. Ministry is a broad terminology, and it has to do with service. That is what it is. So that is why when you go into government, they use the minister of state, the minister of agriculture, the minister of finance, the minister of this. So basically, minister or ministry is not a technical word only to be used for the church. It is a broad word that means call to service, someone who is called to serve. So if I understand what you guys mean by ministry concerning your question, then I'll be able to explain further to you. But yes, your ministry can be your purpose. Telisa Moro, oh my God. You see, Telisa and I went to the same high school, Wharton High School. Welcome, Telisa. How would you know your purpose when you are exposed to it? Interesting. Now, Telisa, I will give you these 4 things. I will explain it to you in these 4 ways. You will know your purpose because you feel it or you sense it. If you are doing it, like you said, if you are exposed to it, if you are doing it, you will feel it. You will feel a sense of fulfillment. You will feel a sense of peace. Madame Teresa said that if you are working a job that you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. That is purpose. If you are doing what you are born to do, it will never feel like a job. Your purpose will never feel like a job. Your purpose will never feel like it is something that makes you bored. You don't struggle to wake up in the morning. You don't struggle for you to go to work. The reason is because what you are doing, you are passionate about it. The reason why you are passionate about it is because it is inside of you. Your purpose is an inner thing inside of you. And so the moment you are connected with it, you want to stay with it. You can't be teared apart from it. So the first thing is that you will feel it when you are exposed to it. You will feel the connection. And the next thing also is that when you are exposed to it, you feel that deja vu moment of like, this is where I belong. This is what I was born to do. You feel that relationship between you and the purpose. The reason is because of the fact that it is the reason why you exist. When you are using something for what it was meant to be and what it was manufactured to be, it excels. So when you are exposed to it, you will excel in it. You will be the best in it. You will be the greatest in it. People will compliment you for it. And that is what it is when you are exposed to it. I am basing this explanation based on the word you are exposed to it. Chevelle, YouTube. I have never seen a vision of the end. What do I do? I like singing and I like business. That's all I know. Other than that, I don't know exactly why I'm here and what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, 1 minute. Chevelle, let me answer your question this way. There is no company on earth that will succeed without, number 1, a mission statement, which is purpose. Purpose is mission. There is no company on earth that will be able to succeed without a mission statement, number 1. Number 2, there is no company on earth that will survive without a vision statement. That is why when you go on any corporate environment, you will see the vision statement in the hallways of the company, in any Fortune 500 company. You will see their mission on their websites. You will see it all over the place. The first business you will ever run in life is Me Incorporated. And Me Incorporated is your business. You must have a mission statement to your life, which is your purpose. You must identify your purpose if you are going to fulfill your calling on this earth. Number two, you must have a vision. When a company declares a vision, a company is simply saying that this is where we expect to be. That is all what the company is saying. And by declaring that this is where we expect to be, they attract investors. If you have not had a vision of your purpose, if you have not had a vision statement in your life, in other words, it means that not only would you not attract investors into your life, not only would you not attract promoters into your life, but you yourself, you will be misguided and you will not know where you are going. One of the things I can tell you, Chevelle, is that sit with someone, a mentor, a life coach, so that you can be able to understand the vision of where you are going in life. If you know your purpose, then you have already had a vision of where you are going in life, because the mission will tell you the vision. The mission will tell you the vision. So if you know what the mission is, you should already know what the vision is. But from what is happening, it is an indication that you don't know what the mission is. You don't know what the purpose is. But if you ask that question, then maybe I'll be able to ask you. I'll be able to help you with that. Are you done with this? Let me, I'm sorry, I've lost track of this. Let me go back. Okay. Okay. 1 second, please. Now, I'm still waiting for a couple of questions to come to me. When I get them, I'll follow through with that. When God called Abraham, he gave him a mission. He said, Abraham, walk before me. I am taking you to this place. Walk before me. In the middle of the night, he called Abraham onto a mountaintop. And in the mountaintop, he gave him a vision. Because even God knows that without a vision, you cannot fulfill your mission or your purpose in life. Let me go back to this thing. Okay. How does one find a life coach? CNR. How does one find a life coach that can or is willing to help them and guide them reach destiny? CNR, one of the things I will say to you is that find someone that you see what they are doing. You admire their lifestyle, their morality, their principles, and their lifestyle, the way they live, the way they do things. You admire those things about them. And the person is very well disciplined, has a sense of wisdom and knowledge. And approach that person and simply ask them to be your life coach. If they turn you down, it's fine. Go back, come back another day, and try it again. If that's a specific person that you want, unless you have other options, go to that person and ask them again. I read a book some time ago, and the book was written by this famous writer. I forgot his name. Maxwell. The name is Maxwell something. Oh my God. Now, he is very, very good in leadership. As far as Christian leadership, life coaching, and mentorship is concerned, he's extremely very, very good. Now, one of the things about him is that he says something that moved me. He said he went to a place and he saw a man give a speech. And the speech touched him so much, he wanted the man to mentor him. But he knew that the man had no time to mentor him. So this is what he did. He's talking about the 60s. So he said unto the man that, can I give you $50 for only 30 minutes of your time so that I can ask you any questions about my life and you can help me? This man is a smart man. He asked the question. He said, unto the man. He said, I know that you are a busy man. I know your time is precious to you. But if I can give you $50, can you give me just 30 minutes of your time to answer my questions? And the man agreed to it. So sometimes you have to recognize that there are certain things in life you have to invest in to feed from, and things like that. Some people will mentor you, but they will mentor you if you recognize that their time is valuable unto them and you don't take them for granted. Along the way, I mentor some people and I decided to discard them because of the very fact that the mentor should not be more serious than the mentee. The mentor should not be more invested. The life coach should not be more invested in the coaching than the person who is receiving the coaching or the mentorship itself. So find someone that you admire, someone that you like their guiding principles in life, someone that you see that they can lead you where you want to go in life. Walk up to them and ask them. You have nothing to lose if they turn you down. Walk up, ask them. If they reject you, find a way to get to them. Perhaps practice what this man did and find something. Give to this person and say that for only 30 minutes of your time, I'm giving you this so that you can talk to me, and make an appointment and do it. Based on your response, this is from Jeffrey. Based on your response on investors, when you identify your purpose and start your business, does your business investors have to be in the same faith as you, or is all about the common vision to fulfill the business purpose? I'll hold on to this for a second. This is one mistake that Christians often make, and I want to answer that. Your business investors or partners do not have to be in the same faith as you. The people that Joseph worked with, they were not in the same faith as him. The people that Daniel worked with, they were not in the same field as him. But yet still, he succeeded in that business. It has become a problem with Christians where when a Christian is working in an environment and the people in that environment are not Christians, the Christian begins to get frustrated, begins to get upset, and begins to think that there are so many demons around them, and everybody around you is a witch, everyone around you is possessed, and everyone around you is really, causing you not to prosper, causing you to fail. Since when has darkness prevailed over light? Since when has light worried over darkness? If you are truly light, why are you worried about being in darkness? Because light rather flourishes in darkness. Light is better when it is in darkness, not when it is in light. If I turn on a light in the daylight, if the sun is out and I go outside and I put on the light, it does not make any sense. Light prevails in darkness. We are called unto the world. We are not called to the light. And so some of us must recognize that the field of life that we shall be planted is going to be a field of life that we are surrounded by darkness, but we are supposed to be the light that shines in that places. So yes, when you are fulfilling your purpose, there are certain people that will be sent out, investors, that will not be the same faith as you. When you read the book of Isaiah chapter number 60, the Bible says that, and strangers shall be your foster parents. Strangers will be your matrons and your patrons. He said that I will send kings and queens from afar, and they will serve you at your feet. And he said that your doors shall be continually open, and strangers will carry gifts, and they will bring it to your doors. That is investment. That is sponsorship of their purpose and their destiny. So I hope I answered your question. Oh, I know. I realize when I take that thing from you, I'm holding you back from doing your job. My goodness. You can post your question. If you have any question, I'll respond to it. You can post your question. If I have explained your question, you want to follow up with the question. Maybe I did not explain it the way that you wanted to explain it, because I did not understand exactly what the question says. Just retaliate the question, and I will attempt to respond to it again. Just retaliate, and I will attempt to respond to it again. Thank you, Jeffrey. If you have a follow-up question, okay, good. I'm waiting for some questions from YouTube to come up. Basically, then I will respond to that question, and then because our time is going a bit. So if you do not know your purpose, I want you to understand that it is essential that you find your purpose in life. Chevelle, when you say mission, do you mean a mission to see family and friends saved? Okay, Chevelle, let me explain this again. When I say mission, I mean your purpose. And I will answer it this way. I'm trying to explain it in a way that I don't confuse you, because your question is a bit of a paradox within itself. Now, when we talk about mission, as I explained before, mission is purpose. You can take this back. Mission is your purpose. The reason why you exist. When a company establishes and they write a mission statement simply means the reason for the existence of the company, why the company exists. That is mission. That is the same definition of purpose. Purpose is why you exist, why you were born, why you were created. Purpose answers the question, why? That is simply what it means. So if you are asking the question, does it mean to have loved ones saved? No, that is not what the purpose is. But however, someone's purpose for being alive could be for the specific reason of helping one person on earth. And that is their very purpose for which they were called on earth. So I want you to understand that, for Christians, everyone is called to save souls. Whether it is your loved ones, your family, whatever it is, everyone has the global mission for Christians to save souls, to lead people to Christ. It is called the Great Commission. Every Christian is obligated to do that. But there are certain people who are specifically called, and they are specifically skilled, specifically equipped. They were born for that reason, that they may be an evangelist, a soul winner in their generation, and that they may lead many into soul winning. Those people, because that is what they were born to do, they don't struggle to do it. They easily do it. It easily comes to them. But I want you to understand that simply saving your loved ones does not mean that you are fulfilling your purpose as it is. You are fulfilling the purpose of the church or the purpose of Christianity for which it exists. But it does not mean that you are fulfilling your personal purpose for which you were called. Okay. Any further questions? Anybody has any questions? If I have not explained anything well and you want it to be explained further, you can just ask me and I'll move on. I'm trying to check my time. I appreciate all of you being on with us today. I thank you for coming around and so forth and so on, joining me throughout the whole week. I appreciate you for that, basically. And what I will do is that I will not be on next week. I will come back on. Okay, what I will do next week I will show up for just one day. And it might either be Tuesday or Thursday. And I will show up to talk about just one day. I'll talk about the significance of the age 30. The significance of the age 30. Now, if you are not 30 years yet, you will want to listen to this. If you are above the age of 30, you will also want to listen to this, because this is expedient that you understand what happens to you when you turn 30. And I mean the symbolic age of 30. What happens to you when you turn 30? The significance of the age 30. You realize that throughout history, anyone who ever became great, the age 30 meant something to their lives. When you look through, when you look through the records of government, you have to turn 30 to run for a certain public office in any democracy and things like that. So I will talk to you about the significance of the age 30 so that you understand. Those of you who are not 30 yet, you will want to hear this before you turn 30. Because for those of you who are approaching 30, what you do now before you get to the age 30 is crucial to your future. Those of you who are already past 30, you might have missed something before you turn 30. I would like to give you a revision of what you missed. The significance of the age 30. Yes, Jeffrey. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know that you were asking that question and I was talking about it already. Okay. In your prayer post, you mentioned after 30 years, you should be worried about not fulfilling your purpose. There are great people who realize their purpose after that age. Is that age in correlation to Christians because of Jesus? No, that age is not because of Christians. And I will explain that to you when I talk about Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, when I talk to you about how the Greek government was formed, the Roman government was formed, about how even the American democracy government was formed. All the governments were formed around the age 30. The governments of the earth were formed around the age 30. I will explain to you about the significance of the age 30. It has nothing to do with Christianity or church. But however, even when you go into the Bible, when you go into Christianity, the religion of the Christians, and you also go into the religion of the Babylonians and things like that, you will find out the significance of the age 30 among all religious groups of the earth. Now, when you go to Judaism, you will find out that you cannot be a priest until you turn the age 30. That is why Jesus activated his ministry at the age of 30. Because in Judaism, you cannot be a priest until you turn 30. I will explain that to you. Those of you who are young pastors, you have to understand that you have not yet come to the level of ministry yet until you turn to 30 years. And I will explain why that is to you. Okay, so this is Jesse from YouTube. If you believe you have a gift that operates in healing, yet you have been praying for people to be healed and it's not happening, does it mean that you are not called to be in the healing ministry? Well, Jeffrey, it does not mean that. What it actually means is that you must grow your faith. What actually that means is that, give me a second. What actually that, okay, you can have it. What that actually means, Jesse, is that, you see, people who pray for the sick, I think they jump too early when they do those things. Sometimes you have to learn that you have to begin from somewhere to get somewhere. In other words, if you believe that you are called to the ministry of healing, you have the gift of healing, and so forth and so on, and someone calls you and say, oh, this woman has cancer, I want you to come and let's go and pray for her. Now, you have never prayed for anyone with a stomach ache before, and God has healed them. You have never prayed for anyone with a headache before, and God has healed them. And you want to pray for someone with cancer. You have jumped too far. There is a place where you start in life to exercise yourself, to train yourself. It's just like someone who wants to play basketball, someone who wants to box. You know, you go to the gym, you flex your muscles, and you know that you got it, and things like that. And you have to find someone to spar with and realize that you got it. And so if you believe that that is what you are called to, you have to begin by practicing these things on little things. You have to begin by praying for someone with something, which is little. Whenever someone has a headache, pray for them. See what happens. Whenever someone has a toothache, pray for them. See, just the little things. And when you succeed in those little things, it builds your faith. You begin to realize, oh my God, it works. See, when I started prophetic ministry in my life, initially, when I see something about someone, I wouldn't say it. When I see something about someone, because of the fact that I was afraid that what I say would be wrong. So what I did was that I began to do it on a small environment, and things like that. I could meet someone in an office. They come to see me in an office, and I just give them a prophetic word, and it works. And then from there, I realize that these things work. You look at the life of David. You see, when David met Goliath, the reason why he was able to say to Goliath that I am going to defeat you is not because of the fact that, David just woke up and he believed that he has the gift to kill a giant. The reason why he could do that was because of the fact that he gave a reference as to why he can kill Goliath. He said when he was in the wilderness, he fought the fox. When he was in the wilderness, he said he fought the lion and all kinds of animals that came to attack his sheep. So through that little experience that he has built up in the wilderness, he recognized that he has a gift to fight. So you have to begin from somewhere, Jesse, and begin to build your faith. Begin to build your confidence. If you can succeed in the little, you can succeed in the greater. So start from somewhere and build it up. Marva, what is it you are not excited about that you think your purpose? What is it you are not excited about? What if? Oh, okay. What if you are not excited about what you think your purpose is? Interesting. Well, I will tell you this, Marva. I was not excited when I discovered my purpose. In fact, I wrestled with it for a long time. I prayed. I told God I don't want to do this. I prayed and I said, God, I will just get a good job and I'll build a church for any pastor that you choose, and so forth and so on. So there are seasons when you discover what the purpose is. Because for me, I belittle being a pastor. It was not something that I look forward to, and things like that. For me, being a pastor, when I discovered it, I felt like I was being downgraded. I felt that God was downgrading me to something because of my ambitions and the way I look at life and what I wanted to do. The pastoral thing was something that was really degrading to me, basically. But that was my understanding at first. I got it wrong. But later on, I began to wrestle with God with it, and I began to pray about it. And eventually, purpose won. And that is what Paul said, concerning his own purpose. Paul said that I may apprehend that for which Christ has apprehended of me. He said that I may apprehend, that I may take hold of that which Christ has apprehended of me. In other words, something is pulling me, Paul said. There is a higher calling pulling me, he said. And Paul said that I have wrestled with it for so long and I'm not able to succeed. Therefore, I am now going to apprehend it. I'm going to take hold of that calling. So Paul said, I reach forth that I may take hold of the higher call. And he said that I forget about the things of the past. I forget about everything that is holding me back. And I press towards the mark that I may take hold of that which is before me. So what you have to recognize that, you're going to wrestle with it. But the time is coming where purpose will prevail. And the moment purpose prevails and you begin to exercise purpose, you will never regret your decision, because you will recognize that this is the only thing on earth that fulfills you, and you will not be displeased with it. They say life starts at 40. You may think of touching on that for some of us as a topic next time. Sure, I'll record that and I'll talk about that 40 as well. But I want to address 30. Next week, I'll address 30. I will choose just one day next week. It will either be a Tuesday or a Thursday, and I will address the significance of the age 30. The significance of the age 30. It is very, very crucial. Those of you who are 40, you still want to know about 30, believe me. You still, even if you are 70, you still want to know what happened when you were 30 and what you missed at that point in your life. So, I will give a few minutes, just 60 seconds. If there are any questions within the next 60 seconds, I'll pick it up. If not, I will round up and we shall call it a day for today. I thank you, all of you, for joining us, for being part of these sessions and all kinds of things. For me, the reason why I'm doing this is not for any reason. I I started these things for a long time now, mentoring people, coaching people, and whatnot. And people do this for money, and you have to know that. Most of the information I've fed you, most of the information I've given to you, are informations that I have really exercised over the years, informations that I've really penned down, informations that I've written down methodically, and so forth and so on myself. These are things that I have tried. Over the period of years, people have asked me questions about ministry. People have asked me questions about life. And those things provoke me to sit down, to package everything into a book and to package everything into a presentation so that I can speak about it on a systematic basis. Because I remember that when I first came into ministry, I was one of the youngest pastors around, very, very young. And a lot of young people who were coming into ministry began to ask me questions concerning how do you know this is your calling? How do you know that this is what you are born to do? How do you know these things? And over the period of times, I began to think, ponder upon their questions. And I remember that every time I answered each one of these people, there was a systematic formula to my answering them. So I decided to restructure those systematic answering that I have. I mean, those systematic answers that I had for them, I decided to write them down, make it a presentation, and just make it a live teaching for people who wants to hear it. People who wants to, I mean, bring their life together and get to a place in life. So thank all of you for joining us. Let me pick up this question, and then w- let me pick up one more question. Let me pick up one more question. Okay. Chevelle, is it possible for someone to fulfill their purpose without knowing exactly what it is? That is a very interesting question. Is it possible for someone to fulfill their purpose without knowing what it is? No. You may fulfill someone's purpose without knowing what it is. But to fulfill your own purpose, you will come to know what it is. Because the moment you begin doing it, you will know that, you will feel something. See, the moment you touch purpose, you will feel it. You will feel it. The reason is because it is that which you were born to do. So the moment you lay hands on it, you will know that this is it for you. However, you may be able to do someone's purpose without knowing that you are fulfilling someone's purpose. There are a lot of people walking around. Someone is doing your purpose. Someone is doing what you are born to do because you are not there to do it. Okay. So, I think this is it for today. If there are no more further questions, I would like to thank all of you for joining us, all of you for being part of this session. I will ask you if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube page, please visit my YouTube page, Cephas Kafui on YouTube. Just type in Cephas Kafui on YouTube and just subscribe to it. And do me a favor, share it with your friends, get your friends to subscribe to it. There are a lot of people who are at the verge of committing suicide, people who are at the verge of doing things, giving up in life. The reason is because they have not come to find out their value in life, what they are born to do, what they are supposed to be doing. I believe that these teachings will help someone. I believe that there are many people who are confused, many people who have been left on the way. They don't know what to do. I believe that these teachings will help someone. So I will ask you to share it on Facebook, everywhere. Share it. Talk to people about it. Talk to people about it and let them be part of it. Thank all of you. Evangelist Kwashiga, thank you so much. Veronica, thank you so much. Jeffrey, thank you. Marva, thank you. Lydia, thank you. All of you who came to be part of this, Evelyn, Mariska, all of you who came to be part of this, Chevelle, Jersey, CNR Ministries. Thank you, all of you. CNI, thank you for sharing me on your page. Thank all of you, who have shared us. Pastor Anita, thank you so much. Is it possible for different people to have the same purpose? No, it is not possible for different people to have the same purpose. Different people may work on the same thing, but each one of them have a share and a part and a role to play in it. And that role and the part that you are playing in it is your purpose. For example, if we are called, if our purpose is to build, if we are called to build this thing, we all have a role. That role that we play in building this thing defines our individual purpose. So someone may be called to design this whole thing. Someone may be called to make the lead of it. Someone may be called to promote it, to market it. I'm just giving an example to make you understand that your purpose is unique. You are designed for it. Different people are not called to fulfill what you were born. God saw something that must be done and he called you to do it. In other words, if God wants a revival to occur upon the earth in the US, and God calls 4 people, now each one of them, even though the ultimate goal is that mission of the revival, each one of them has a role to play in it. Their roles are not the same, and their roles defines their purpose. I hope you understand that. Okay. Telisa, thank you so much. Ayodali, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, all of you, for being part of this. I appreciate all of you for being part of this. If you have any questions, you can send it to my inbox. Just send it to my inbox on Facebook, and I'll respond to it. Or you can just email me at cephas@outlook.com. cephas@outlook.com. You can email me over there. I'll respond to it as well. Or you can send it to my Facebook Messenger, my Instagram inbox. I am on Facebook as Revivalist. Basically, you know why. That's why you are here already. But I'm on Facebook as Revivalist Cephas Kafui. The same thing on Instagram, Revivalist Cephas Kafui. If you have any questions, let me know about it. God bless you. Thank all of you for being part of this. And I will see you again next week. Thank you.